And I didn't record you, don't worry.
All right, so I'll get with you three about all the logistics and things about being a drum major for the pet band, and I'll let you know if you made it or not. I'll let you sweat it for a little bit. Think about it. Pet band has been a really amazing thing this year, like bringing it back and like making it a huge like part of the Oaklawn band. And like you guys have done an amazing job of just making it like a big thing. Like online, a lot of people just like love hearing about the pet band and posting about the pet band. There's so many videos and pictures of you guys just performing. So it's a really awesome thing that you made happen, and we're going to continue that awesomeness next year. I, however, will be taking a lot more responsibilities in the band, so I need the help of drum majors to help out with the pet band. So yes, I'm not leaving the pet band at all. I'm just having other people help me out. So great job.
Thanks, Max.
All right,
Thank
cool.
you, Max.
So just chill out until rehearsal starts. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Max. Let's see if at some point we can grab the podium. I didn't want to go there. But, I mean, I don't need more. I know that you've got scores, but... Are either of yours like 11 or 17s? Like big ones?
No,
That's small. Are you have them in a binder, or do you have that?
just like back to school.
Okay. They're not like the crazy, like, grade 6 Donald Grantham, like, scores
No,
like this big?
I only had one like that this season. That was the John Henry.
Oh, yeah.
I was like that. Otherwise, just had like great music. We can retire Bad Romance now. No, yes. Okay, good. Good. All right. That's what I want to hear. I'll give you this one. Thank you.
For not hitting me. That's okay.
few minutes, I just want to let you know, since I didn't put the order in the email, we're starting tonight after we do, raise your hand if you have a chorale, the chorale book. On your phone? That counts, sure. That's enough, we'll read through it once. Okay, so we'll do chorale number 4. Then, as far as rehearsal order is concerned, March Militaire will start, Grace and Being will be second, and then Sondheim third. So I know percussion, that's kind of light for you guys in the first 2, but then we'll dive into Sondheim after that. So be prepared for that. And then we'll go into Nick's pieces afterwards. So Down a Country Lane and YMCA, that'll take us to the break. So with that being said, since I've got your attention, do you want to wait or do you want to do it now?
Well, do it now. We can start. It's fine.
We can start. I'll post out in the hallway.
Yeah, if you don't mind. Just let people know come on in. Hi, everybody. Hi. We need to go through all the fun band logistic-y meeting stuff. So it's going to be a little bit of a fun time. This is my best Bill Lundberg impersonation. If you've seen Office Space. Okay, based on those stairs, no, you have not seen Office Space. So I'll talk normally. But basically, first order of business, we got a couple of things to go through. One, we need to vote on your new board, because today is the day. Yay! Saddle those people with new jobs and then run away. The next thing is we need to do a little bit of recap about this past weekend, which has all the tales, highs and lows you'd expect from a Shakespearean tragedy or comedy. So let's start with this weekend's recap to give people more time so they can vote on your board. First off, I will start with the biggest wins. I personally thought we did great. We had great TV coverage. Everybody loved us. I went a little crazy posting all the pictures. Big shout out though to Russell for taking those pictures. Yeah. Also, I am now the face of Dallas Pride.
How did you work that out?
I am. I don't know. I bribed the head. But we did great. I thought all of you were spectacular. Everybody who at some point in my earshot said that they thought they were going to drop out or pass out or die or this is the worst thing they've ever done had a completely different tale by the end. They were exclaiming how excited they were, how much fun it was. I had a blast. What was happening before Pride, I was not having a blast with. So let me tell you about what was going on the opposite end. We almost did not have the rest of our season. So I know that typically, these are the things that the board works on. You guys don't always know. It's like a duck on a pond. You don't know all the fast paddling happening. I'm just going to run you through a few quick bullet points. If you want all the infinite details, you can catch me directly later. But on Thursday, I got a call that the contract we had with the school here was no longer valid for a variety of reasons. It's not super malicious or anything like that. It's just one of those things of, hey, we need to be above board, and if you're going to be using the space, we need record of it. We don't have that. And to get record of it, you need to pay $2,400 by 5 o'clock today. Excitement. So this is Thursday going into Pride. As you guys know, I was minorly involved with Pride. So I had a lot going on in my mind. I was able to work it out thanks to the help of Mark, Nick, Josh, a couple of other board members. We went through a whole host of contingency plans to see, do we have another place to go? Where do we source percussion? Can we get the paperwork filled out in time? Do we have the right insurance coverage? Do we have the money? It was very much, in hindsight, hilarious comedy of errors because we would get one thing checked off like, hey, yes, the form's submitted, but the principal needs to approve it. The principal's on vacation. The principal said he'll approve it by 5 o'clock today if you pay for it. Do we have enough money to pay for it? We do, but it's not in the right bank account. Where are we going to get it from? And so on. I covered it, personally. I did not have to cover the whole thing. I thought I was going to, but I covered for tonight, and then they graciously rolled the charges through for the remainder of our rehearsals and our concert. So, bullet dodged. I did not have to front all that cash for the band. Not that I would not have, because I've kind of adopted this motto at this point, in case you didn't know, of this band will succeed or I will die trying. The latter felt more likely this weekend. I actually, this is a true story, called my mother who's an RN and be like, what are the symptoms of a heart attack? Just to make sure that I was okay. Spoiler alert, I'm okay. I am telling you all this not because I'm trying to tell you how awesome I am. I am asking for your help. This was too much for me, okay? Like, I seriously contemplated resigning because I had a day job, and in the middle of my day job at work, and I work at a bank, so they generally frown on misuse of company time. I was having to handle all these phone calls and coordinations and everything else, and honestly, that's just what a president does, right? That's what they're supposed to do. It was a lot for me. So for all of you, here's what that means. We successfully rescued the season. Our season did not end yesterday. I had 2 speeches prepared. It's like that scene in all the Superman movies. Superman lives, Superman dies. We're ready for either headline. I was ready to tell you after Pride, hey, this was fantastic. Thank you, everybody. There's nothing else. We'll see you next fall once we figure out what we're doing. I did not want to jeopardize the momentum, nor did your board. We had an emergency meeting yesterday to figure out what do we do, how do we want to bring you guys all up to speed. I have opted for full transparency, not because I want to panic you or cause chaos, but because I want to reiterate something that I think makes what we did worthwhile. We have a full slate of people volunteering to run this band for the first time in years. That's a huge win. Look at how many people are on this stage right now in summer after Pride. It is also a huge win. Look at Pride, okay? Like, when I first saw the band in 2012, there were like 25 people marching on a rainy Pride back in Cedar Springs. Okay, you had 6 times that number this time. You guys are awesome, and you are worth the effort it takes to run this band. That being said, we have a few headwinds in front of us that we're going to have to overcome as a group. Namely, I have put on my bank business analyst hat. We have to come up with $21,000 to $24,000 per year from here on out if we want to enjoy the kind of experience we've been having, which is that we have a rehearsal venue, a performance space, chairs and stands, full set of percussion equipment, both for on stage and for marching, and a single point of contact that coordinates all of this for us. Those things are all worth quite a lot, right? I ran the calculations for you. I have them on my phone if anybody wants to see the math. But if we were to go to the cheapest rehearsal venue I could find, which would be like a church or the Salmon Center, we would save a lot of money on rehearsal, but we would have to spend close to $3,500 per concert, right, to go to a nice place that's about a little bit better than this, like the Moody. We'd have to spend about $1,700 to book something like the Latino Cultural Center, assuming it's available. Because that's the other thing. When you have a single point of contact booking the same space over and over, for example, we've technically booked this room for 2 years at this point. So, put all those pieces together, then you also realize if we're rehearsing elsewhere, guess what we don't have? I'm going to take a wild percussion. Bill, how much does a used marimba cost? Best I can get. Okay. So we add all that up, and surprise, we're back at the same $20,000. So no matter what, here's what's happened. This is where I put that positive spin back on it and try to save the Titanic, okay? Follow with me. There's a happy ending here. We have gotten to a point where we are such a legitimate organization that has so many multiple performing branches. We have a marching band, we have a pep band, we have a concert band, we play difficult music. We just had drum major auditions. Like, what? Okay, this ensemble has grown massively. We maybe did what a lot of politicians do, and we did deferred maintenance on the infrastructure for the band for a little too long. So this next year, there will be a call to action for all of you. Number one, to be flexible. I don't know for sure where we will start season at next year. I hope it's here or a place that feels like a logical continuation for all of us. Number two, we might have to make changes to things like the night we rehearse on, depending on what's available. And number three, we'll all have to rally behind funding the band. I don't need you all to personally fund the band. That's not what I'm asking for. But when we come to you and say, hey guys, we have a plan to do a fundraiser, everybody try to raise $100 or something along those lines, or we need help with the fundraising committee, or hey, talk to everybody you know and get them to come to a concert so that they can help fund us. Those kind of things are actually important. It's not something that's just like, hey, fill out the audience. We want more people clapping. It's fill out the audience. I need more people being guilted into paying for a ticket at the door, right? Because think about it. How many seats are out here? About 400, give or take. If half of these seats were paying for a ticket, say $5, $10, that, my friends, is a lot of money, right? If everybody out here was full and when they paid $10, it's $4,000 a concert. Okay, that's more than enough to cover everything we just talked about. It's just we've never had to do it before. But we have leveled up as an organization to where we are essentially a high caliber, effective organization, and it's time for us to kind of finish making that jump. So for most everybody, there's nothing you need to do differently other than keep an open mind. And just like I said at Pride, I'm going to steal from myself. Get your anger and rage and frustration out of the way of me now for whenever I email out and say, hey guys, slight change of plans. We need to adjust this, that, or the other. Go ahead and get frustrated now. Let's work through those emotions so that when we need to be on our A game, like we were when the power went out, okay, we can all still be productive while we're doing that. Now, hopefully I haven't scared anyone away or alienated you or made you feel like the sky is falling. I think we have the sky held in place for now. There's no crisis. We will start the season on time. We have enough money in the bank. Okay, it's not like, well, that's it. See you later, folks, and the Looney Tunes logo plays. We're good. Okay, we will start the season no matter what. It's just next year there may be a few extra steps involved to make it as successful as we want it to be. Cool? Like I said, if anybody is super concerned, please feel free to come talk to me at any point in time. If you have positive things and you're really excited about everything, talk to Mark and Nick. If you're really unhappy or really worried or you have complaints, talk to me. Cool? Okay. Are there any questions that you guys want to ask with the whole band here on any of this before we move on to more positive stuff like planning for after parties and elections? And by all means, feel free to ask anything you want. What you got, Tim? I can't speak to Mansfield. Maybe somebody else could in a second. I could tell you the only other ensemble I personally have played in recently would be the Allen Community Band. They pay $17,000 a year for the rehearsal and performance space at Allen ISD. That is offset by a $10,000 grant from the city of Allen, right? And then their dues kind of cover the rest. But they do that because they have the same setup we do. Performance hall, band instruments, go. It kind of varies by school district to school district. Part of it is Dallas ID is such a behemoth organization that there's a lot of bureaucracy to get through. So it has extra rules that maybe a smaller ISD would not have. So we do have options. Like we could go somewhere else. Travis, where did you say your school was? Mansfield. All right, so we want to drive 100 miles south. We can go to Mansfield and be the Mansfield Oaklawn Band Detachment, long distance. Right? Or like, for example, we could go to the Cathedral of Hope. We could store whatever stuff we do have. We could rehearse there. But then what would the percussionists play? Percussionists, how many of you would be here week in and week out if you had nothing to play? Right? Like, there's a lot of, like, moving pieces there. So we'll all be working on it together. And just as a crowdsourcing opportunity, anyone in the band is welcome to voice suggestions, ideas, or pursue ideas that you think may work and bring them back. Like, it's not an end of the world thing. It's just we're going to need to put a little bit of effort into it is all. So everyone feel free to pitch in at whatever level you are able to do so. Okay? Michael.
I work for a large corporation and we have what's called an employee resource group. If you work for a corporation or any other kind of, maybe even like,
Speak up.
if you work for like a corporation or like any other kind of like government subsidy group, there's a chance that you have an employee resource group at your place of employment. Reach out to them. They might even have charitable business functions that they work through to get
add on to that, North Texas Giving Day is arguably one of our largest fundraising opportunities at the moment, minus grants and that sort of thing. We consistently get somewhere between $4,000 to $5,000 through North Texas Giving Day. But an organization like Resource Center or even the Turtle Creek Corral or your local high school band regularly raises upwards of 20 to 25,000 and higher, right? A successful North Texas Giving Day would also help with this. A way to do that, to get to that next level for us, is figuring out matching donations, which can come from corporations or from other foundations. So if your corporation is not totally on board with funding the band, right, that might be another way to approach that, right, is trying to figure out matching donations when it comes time for North Texas Giving Day, because all of that is a tax write-off, right?
Which is a side note, we're a featured nonprofit right now.
Yes.
They emailed us this morning saying, hey, it's Pride Month. You're an LGBTQ organization. We're going to feature you right now. Yay! So, yeah. So here's the thing, guys. Show of hands, it's okay if I've really downed you. Who feels down about all this information that I just gave you? Have I really depressed the mood in the band? Okay, cool. I think you're all lying, but I'll take it. So here's the good thing. Again, to reiterate, we're not going to problem solve it right now. Right? I like the ideas we're getting. It shows that we have people that are invested in the band. You all are very invested in the band. Okay? Everybody likes to come tell me, you're doing a fantastic job. I just want you to know that. And I appreciate that. I really do. But without you, there is nothing for me to do. Okay? So I want you all to know, you guys are my top priority. You are the board's top priority. You should be each other's top priority too. And you were, because you showed out in a big way this weekend in all capacities. From marchers to boothers to volunteers to cheering us on. It was great. Don't lose sight of the fact that this is only a problem because we did this. This is like your family got so big you need a Suburban and you have a Honda Civic. That's all this is, okay? So we'll get there. So on a more positive note, I want to reiterate the fact that for the first time in years, we have a full slate of candidates for the board. And I'm going to hopefully remember who everybody is because I forgot to write it down again. But we do actually need to take a vote on that. I'm sorry, this is not going to be the most formal of occasions. I believe I need to call the meeting to order. The meeting is called to order. We have, as a board, proposed the following candidates for nomination for board. For Vice President, Miss Megan Livingston from the percussion. For Director of Social Media, Miss Caitlin Flint is once again up for nomination from the flutes. For Secretary Extraordinaire, that's not the whole title, but it's close enough. We have Mr. Michael Eves returning from last year nominated. For Director of Community Engagement, for the first time in 5 years? Something like that. We have Christian Liza. For, who am I missing? What am I missing? Treasurer. For Treasurer, wow. We have Brianne Swales from the bass clarinet. Frank. Shh, stop that. Frankie stole my thunder. But for the Director of Fundraising, which is sort of important after the conversation we just had, Frank Medrano in the tenor saxes. And excitedly returning to the boards full of enthusiasm, for Director of Membership, we have Paul Nowakowski in the oboe. We have more people taking roles, but those are the ones that require a vote. We also have 2 new positions. Technically 1, but we have 2 people offering to do it. We have for President-elect to replace me next year, Brianne Swales and Caitlin Flint. So you guys got options. Yeah. The vote is to accept by affirmation, am I saying it right? Acclamation. The candidate slate as proposed.
I so move.
I second.
All in favor? All in favor? Aye. Thank you. The vote carries. That's your new board, everybody. Woo! Yay! Yes, what is this? Come on. It's like you all marched yesterday and you're tired. All right. We also have a whole event staff that we will have for the first time ever, and I'm excited for. Leah Beth will be our event coordinating manager, or something to that effect. I always keep changing the title when I say it. Josh will be our logistics manager from treasurer. So the existing board is still helping in a large capacity to keep our events running smoothly. If any one of you would like to be involved, all of these people will need help. Do not ask them to do it alone. Please offer to help. Your help will be greatly appreciated. And with that, I will stop boring you and destroying this rehearsal that Mark was so excited to have. And I will go play my trumpet now.
All right. Yeah, now that your reeds are dry, your instruments are cold. Let's get chorale number 4 up real quick. We'll spin through it once. If you don't have the chorale in front of you, maybe just quietly blow warm air through your instrument to get it to a reasonable temperature. We'll take a couple of tuning pitches and then march militaire. So here's chorale number 4. Chorale number 4. A couple of B flats, please. March militaire. Do any of you find this one more challenging when we go under tempo? A little bit? Let's try it here today. Not too slow. Close to full tempo, but not quite there yet. Here we go. Yeah. Wow, that was awesome. Okay, couple of notes. Careful in trumpets and cornets in the triplets there at the end. Start subdividing in advance if you can. Just maybe one measure, the measure that you're resting right there before the triplets will do. Some of us are going slightly faster. We don't want to pull the tempo ahead too much. So you can start subdividing triplets right after cornet 1 has that release. And so on. And then the brass, especially low brass, when we come in with those really big entrances, like the melody, and then there's that one part, it's a minor sound, where you have half notes. You were just a little bit late up here. It sounded that way anyway on the first note, and it kind of stabilized. But make sure your air is ready, and don't let the intensity slow you down. Cool. at the ending. Absolutely. Yeah, 11. Rehearsal 11, please. Actually, let's go 2 measures before that. 2 measures before rehearsal 11. Here we go. Bum, 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 bum. Here we go. 2 before rehearsal 11. Right. Yeah, how'd that feel? It sounds good. I could use a little bit more first cornet where you have the second measure of 11 there, just because you're all by yourselves. Nobody else in the band has that, so that would help. Okay, in the interest of time, let's go ahead and move on. We'll get to spend more time on this next week. But now let's go to the grace in being. Yeah, by the way, we're going in concert order tonight for your awareness. So we will open the concert with that piece. Grace in Being starts with vibraphone, all by its lonesome. And then the next thing to come in is flute, just one flute. Pickups into the 4th measure. It is, you guys just have one, or is it first one? Just one, right? All right. Anybody need more time? Here we go. Sounds very beautiful. We're not going to go all the way back to the beginning. There's not a lot of dynamic contrast. Remember, voices are entering in, but by the time everyone's playing at 19, we just stay at mezzo piano. I don't want it to actually crescendo, but keep the energy moving, right? Where this really long line of music is going basically until the downbeat of measure 25. And so just keep the energy moving forward. Don't obsess over every single note, but think about how the notes are connecting into one another. Keep the energy going throughout. Let's go to right at 10, please. I know that's in the middle of phrases for some of you, but for the sake of simplicity, right at measure 10. Here we go. 10. won't give a big downbeat at measure 69 because most everybody enters on beat 2. So sorry for that. I led you guys into a trap there. My apologies. But that was really beautiful, and I think we could even, I'm like really holding you all back intentionally as much as possible at 52. But once we get to 58, you could really come out even more. I don't think it's forte anywhere before measure 61. Is that correct? So that really is like the high point in the piece. And you had this really, really, really beautiful arrival at 35. It was it just like the sun came out of the clouds kind of moment. But it needs to be even louder, even more intense at measure 61. But it's not as like pretty. It's not like a nice arrival. It's like a tension kind of arrival. And then we like let that dissipate when we come back in pickups into 64. For those of you who have the pickups into that measure. So everything else is beautiful. Great job listening to one another. Again, in the interest of time, let's keep moving along. Next up is Sondheim. I would like to take a little bit more time on this one. How much announcing do we need to do at the break? Any? 2 minutes announcing? Okay, cool. I'm just gonna keep that in mind. So yeah, Sondheim just has a lot of stuff going on. I think each part of it sounds great, but just keeping your mental stamina up, staying focused throughout is the biggest challenge on this one. Listening back to drum set, Jordan and I are going to be locked in together for all the transitions and tempos. So I can be your visual cue, Jordan will be your auditory cue, and we will always line up. All right? And that's kind of a tall order, but that's the challenge for me. So we're always lining up. So from the top, taking things fairly close to tempo. But you've just got me at the beginning. You don't have Jordan at the beginning, so you just have to watch. Here we go. Anybody need more time? All right. Horns and clarinet 2 have triplets. The melody in trombone at 25 is getting absolutely swallowed up by the sound here. I know it's marked mezzo piano. Let's maybe meet in the middle. So everyone else who's playing at 25, recognize that you should be at mezzo piano throughout this. With the exception of stopped horns, you can continue to play full. That texture can remain and it's not going to get in the way at all. Everyone else who's playing repetitive triplets or sustained like multi-tied notes can just get even a tiny bit softer getting into 25, and then that trombone melody sound. How many, is it just in one? Are we just having one play?
That's me.
Okay. Can you bring it out anymore? Maybe? Okay. Cool. Well, listen for it. It's just in trombone. There's also tenor. It's in tenor sax too, but I don't know if it's being covered tonight. I think it's in tenor sax. Is that true? Yeah. Okay. And I want you to match the sound that you hear from trombone. Okay? Let's get into that, please. 17. 17. Here we go. Right on it. 17. I thought I had the right number of measures in my head. I was listening for balance and I was miscuing, so that's on me. Flutes and oboes, when we start moving on those dotted quarter notes, if we can, again, just I don't want to say. I mean, yes, play softer, but play softer in a way that you can hear trombone. That's ultimately what we're aiming for. So I don't want you to like softer into obscurity, but if you individually can hear the trombone, then we're doing all right. Okay? Let's try again, please. Can we start right there, pickups to 25? Yeah? Bum, bum, bum. And let's maybe speed it back up a little bit. Is that okay, or is that a problem? If we speed it up a little bit? Yeah? Okay. This is where we started, by the way. Here we go. I don't really have Jordan's help much on this one. He has to sit back and wait. Here we go. So pickups to 25 this time. Pickups to 25. I'll give you two measures. 1, 2, 1. stopping for me, I think I should go faster. Yeah. Okay, so at Moderato Tranquillo, it's actually marked 116. I'm just feeling it's slower than it is. There are a couple things while we're stopping I want to point out. Measure 150, trumpets, your melody starts in that measure, not in measure 151. So I'm at 151, I hear you as a section. It sounds really strong. Measure 150, it's not all there. So I know there's a crescendo into it, but that very first ba-da needs to happen. It needs to really cut through. And so you can still crescendo, but just be ready to really dig in on those notes. And then I will say also that the next time we do rehearse this, we're going to dig a lot more into the section at 55. I think that part in the medley is the weakest currently. Yes? I don't know if it necessarily needs to be louder. It just sounds like you're not ready for it. Like, for as many trumpets as there are, I don't really hear it coming through. I think if all of you individually played mezzo piano, it would be really loud. So I think it's more of a, like, you're counting and you're subdividing and you're ready for it. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-bum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. Oh yeah, and then on those half notes, space them a little bit. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum. You're very legato right now, which is beautiful, but let's go ahead and separate it. Let's go ahead, for my sake, this is the last thing we're going to do on this, transition into this section that's 116 beats per minute. Let's start at, can you find for me, please? Let's just go 4 before 175. 4 before 175, there's a rallentando, it's 2 before key change. And just to get into this new tempo for me. And then we'll move on to next pieces. Here we go. Keep going, but we don't have the time. I will say this, for those of you who are mathematically inclined and like to think in terms of ratios and things like that, I'm going to basically be going double time at 173. So we're slowing down to probably less than 60 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So if that helps you, like I said, if you're mathematically minded, that's what I will be doing. Otherwise, just watch, and you'll be fine. Okay? Please welcome Nick to the podium. Woo! And another round of applause for a great pride. Wow! Woo!
Okay, down a country lane, please. Okay, so we really only need to hit 2 big things in this one, and that is letter B and going into letter C. Both of those are, it says on your paper, a trifle faster at letter B. So it's really just like looking up and watching for that transition so that we're taking a different tempo through that section. So we'll just hit that, and then we'll go to the end, and I think we should be solid. Let us start at 3 before letter B. 3 before B. And then you're just going to look up for the different tempo going into B. All right, here's 3 before, letter B. on to the A. Just don't hang on to it. It sounds beautiful. We just gotta keep on going through it so that the rest of the ensemble is able to keep on moving. Okay. Otherwise, the transition to B was really nice. I'll make more eye contact with our flute player and clarinet player at 20. All right. Can we do the same thing? Start 3 before letter B again. 3 before B. And ready. And. It sounds real nice. Can we add a bigger crescendo going into letter D? Like make it a true fortissimo sound. That's a huge arrival moment in that whole section. So if you have quarter notes that are ascending one measure before letter D, more crescendo, and then low brass. If you have descending half notes or like one half note that is lower than the first half note, then make that louder as well going into letter D. And that contrasting motion will give more of a dynamic contrast. Let us start 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 before D. 4 before D, and we'll go all the way until the end. 4 before D. And 1, 2, 4 before D. Go. Can I have more cut mute trumpet on measure after E? Just a little bit more. You're in the back. Oh, did I? Well, okay. Can you? Yeah, more. I changed my mind on that. Thank you for reminding me.
You want the sports font? I cannot speak. 45. You actually want the loud start.
No, I like how it is right now. That is great. Okay. Yes, we'll do a full run of that on next Monday. Let's go to YMCA, please. Okay. On YMCA, next week, Caitlin has so graciously made like big signs with numbers. So our number of people who are holding up number 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, you'll have like this huge number, and you'll have it under your seat. And then once letter J happens in this song, whenever your number happens, you'll hold it up. So at letter J, the first number will be number 8. So that person will hold up number 8 from their seat. And you have to hold it up so that the audience can see it. And then the next measure, number 7. And then number 6, the next measure, and so on and so forth. you're only going to hold up your number for 4 beats. So once we get to J, it's going to be 8, 2, 3, 4, and then you bring it out. And then 7 at the next measure. Bring it out. Understand? Roll good. Tonight, we do not have the numbers, but can we practice just holding up your hands like this so that I can see where the people are in the ensemble? And if we're missing people, it's okay.
Yelling the 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
1 second.
I'm glad somebody wrote it.
Counting down.
2. Yes. All right. And then we'll hit some other things as well in this one. We are going to start letter G on the drum set solo. All right, here we go. G. And we're only doing it one time. G. And 1, 2, letter G. Ready, set, M. Also standing up for our solos. You're just covering, right?
I'm just covering.
Yeah, you're covering. That's fine. Okay, so can you just make sure you stand up for yours, and there's no clarinet. Okay, let's try it again. Nice job, Jordan. That was awesome. Here you go. No, you're not. You don't have to stand. All right, G again. And 1, 2, and letter G. Ready? M. Before we move on, our claps have to happen and be more enthusiastic so the audience is not confused on if they should clap or not. So, horns, if you're clapping, can you hands above the head? Yes. Sorry. Anytime we took out the upbeats. Yeah. So, no upbeats. You're clapping instead. Same thing. Trombones at K, clapping as well. Okay, we're gonna do that one last time to make sure I can see the claps happen. Nice job to the people raising their hands for the numbers at J. Let's do J one more time, all the way until the end. Here we go, J. 1, 2, and letter J, ready, and.
so fun announcements, real quick. If you ordered a polo shirt like this one, they have arrived. Please see me. It's in the trunk of my car. I would like it to not be in the trunk of my car. Thank you. If you want spare Pride shirts or Pep Band shirts, they are also in the trunk of my car, and I would rather not have those in the trunk of my car. Really quick, I have one order of business, and I'll let Tony talk about the fun stuff. I need to do a quick straw poll just to know what days of the week are off limits as we start our searches for all the options over the summer. If Tuesday in no way, shape, or form will ever work for you, please raise your hand. Okay, if Wednesday is right out and just never going to work. And the most hated of days, Thursday, if that's a terrible day for you.
Oh, no.
Okay, okay. And of course, I guess I don't care. We're not going to do Friday. But just in case, if Friday's bad for you, thank you. That's anymore. We don't want to do Friday, people. Let's go. Great, okay. I just needed to do a quick little straw poll. Thank you. Tony, take it away.
Folks, after all our concerts, we normally do a little bit of a social thing. We've done LTs, we've done some dang good Chinese. We're working on something for this one on the 14th. In Bishop Arts is a restaurant called Isla and Company. They're wanting to host us, and they're actually trying to do a special menu with us and actually a signature drink and that kind of thing for us too. As of right now, like I said, we're working on it. I need to get kind of a show of hands of how many people we think you might have, and if you have a +1, raise 2 hands. That would be after the concert from like 6 to 8 o'clock. Everybody, how many would go to that?
Just to clarify, unlike previous ones, this is a personally crafted for us experience because we haven't done a band banquet this year. So this is here are custom entrees and appetizers and drinks that we have created just for the Oakland band.
That part.
And it will be just for us.
And that part.
So, if you can go or want to go on RSVP, this is not formal, please raise your hand.
Throw your hands up if you want to go. Oh my God. Okay, this is going to be awesome. We're still working on it. Jonathan is actually going to be going to...
Keep those hands up.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, real quick, put your hands down. I count all the no hands. If there are additional hands that you're pretty sure you're going to also bring, please put those up now. Like friends or people that you know are
Really?
cute.
If you're bringing Conrad, that's 2 hands. You should have already done that.
Okay, cool. So that is 56.
Wow. Okay. We're still working on the details on that one because he's going to be calling them because they've already given us a menu and a price. I consider that price too high at the moment, and he's going to use his powers of persuasion to get those down. The second thing I wanted to ask you guys is the San Antonio Pride is coming up. Yes, it conflicts with the Houston Pride. San Antonio was able to send us people up here to Pride, and they are desperately needing low brass players for their particular parade. I am working on getting a carpool to get down there. So if anybody is interested in going, can you raise your hand if you're interested in going to San Antonio for their Pride Parade? It's a big one.
For the record, it is June 24th. It is a Saturday.
And it's a night
It's at
parade.
night.
Night parade. Night parade.
You can wear the tie-dye shirts, no problem. If you don't have one, we'll give you one, so you don't have to worry about a shirt. They sent 7 people up here for us, and it is their 10th anniversary. So if you
What he said, I was going to say all that, but yeah,
you
like
can
it.
make a 3-hour drive down there to support them, just like they supported us, or you might be willing to do that. Like you're even on the fence. Raise your hands.
Okay. And they do it all on the same night. They have a pool party, rehearsal, then the performance all at the same time.
One and done. You'll be back on Sunday
It's
morning.
one and done. This is pretty awesome. You got family there because I know you live there. This is looking good. Looking
Cool.
good.
Please get with Tony to get all of your questions.
Yeah, because I need to get you registered so they know you're coming. There's some people coming from out of town for it too, from other cities. Thank you, guys.
Break time.
And by the way, because we're renting the facility, the gate out front is open, lots of checks, and the front bathrooms are unlocked as well as the side ones, so more spaces to go. So, see all those in.
I guess in the same spot that I've already guessed.
never
I was just like, I have no way to read any of these. Any of them. She gave it to me. I looked up my husband. Most of my father. Me and my brother have cheated and inspired
Hanging out with Ellen in the parking lot. Ellen has a flat tire, and so Spencer got basically ready with the spare from her mom. So I helped finish getting her tire off, and Spencer took the spare on a quick trip to fill it up. So Spencer and Ellen and Kay are going to be a little bit late on the second half. Yeah, Ellen's car, she rolled in with a flat tire, she didn't realize. Would you do two pictures from? Oh, yeah, hold on. So, Spencer is helping Ellen with a flat tire. Kay is keeping Ellen company in the dark parking lot because Spencer went to take the spare to Quick Trip to fill it up because it was low, so they'll all be back in eventually, but we're going to keep going. So take 2 B flats, please. Correct. Yeah, so we're starting the second half with Longford Legend. Are Spencer and Ellen like playing first on that? Or
No, I play first on
You
it.
got first?
It's just, yeah, it's me and Spencer.
Oh, okay. So it's all you.
Yeah, it's me.
They'll be in a sec. So after that, it's going to be Hymn for the Lost, then Applause, then we'll close with Finale from Symphony Number 6. Anytime you have a sforzando, lean into it a little bit. I don't want it overly articulated, but put weight into the air. So, air accents. Obviously, it is tongued. You don't slur it, but don't lead your accent with the tongue. Here we go. When horn plays like counter melody to or harmony to the flute solo near the beginning and the end, and also in baritone when you have like a counter melody harmony to the alto saxophone solo, I'd like it to almost be more like a duet and less like this. And then that means that flute's loud enough, saxophone solo we can have a little bit more dynamically. Can I hear just those two sections super quickly? Let's do the beginning, then we'll jump to the saxophone solo with baritone harmony, and then the ending. So the beginning of the movement, please. Downbeat is low reeds and tuba, and then both flute and horn start on the and. So you'll see this. Boom, ba da da. And I'll try to be super clear. Sorry, my shirt is like riding up, so I keep fidgeting. Here we go. From the beginning. Going. we don't need to do the ending unless you want to do it. No? Okay, cool. Yeah, I realized they were like right back to back, so we just went right through all of it. Let's move on, please, to the third movement. Killyburn Bray. All right. Starts with just first clarinet. Next thing that comes in is triangle in the fourth full measure on beat 2. And then the next thing that comes in after that is clarinets 2 and 3 with alto saxophone 1. Pickups into 122 with some cool, and tambourine as well. Pickups to 122. And then some cool, like low sounds in alto clarinet, bass clarinet. Here we go. There's like a void that sort of happened. Measures, let's see, before 260, 4 bars. 260, 4 bars before that. We have this big 2 measures before that still. And then there's a timpani solo. It's like 2 lolly 1. That's like pickups into 4 before 260. And then it's forte again. And trumpets have bum ba da 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 bum bum bum. But everyone else who's playing there has also like accented dotted quarter notes. I think we could maybe enter back in there 4 before 260 a little bit stronger. It doesn't have to be 100% because we do have to crescendo to fortissimo at 260. But it just felt like this. It just like was a vacuum there in those 4 bars. Let's get into that, please. Let's start right on to. I'm sorry.
And we are going to accelerate.
Yeah, we are going to accelerando to the end where it says. Or, I mean, not to the end, but to accelerando to più mosso. So it's the poco accelerando starts where it says poco accelerando, and then at 272 più mosso, it's locked in at the faster tempo. All All right, find for me, please, 248. We're going to start right on it. 248. Here we go. 248. Cool. Yeah, that was tempo-wise. Sorry, my hair's all over the place. It ended kind of like 156. That's about where we ended. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's where I'd like for it to be. I think that's a good way to start the second half. Let's continue on, please. Hymn for the Lost, followed by applause. And I think more important than anything on this is that we keep the energy and the tempo going. Listen for, like if you're doing the same thing over and over again, like saxophones at the beginning, I think saxophone section is doing a great job of staying, like establishing a foundation, right? Like there's texture there, but we can still hear the other things that are going on. Any other sections that have repetitive stuff throughout the piece, really be listening for new things coming in. It's like sort of quasi-minimalist in nature. There's a lot of repetition, and what's exciting is the new stuff. So I don't know, I think the two names that come to mind to me when I think of minimalists are like Philip Glass and maybe John Adams to a lesser extent. John Adams is a different kind of minimalist, but if you've ever listened to or played Philip Glass, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You just play like the same thing, in some cases, for like hundreds of measures, and like little tiny things change within it. So, and it's those changes that make the piece exciting. So here we go. From the top, does anybody need more time? Awesome. Sorry, Clarence, I didn't give you that. Oh, that is it. That's fine. Yeah, great job so far. That measure where I just gave the big downbeat is measure 32. That is a great place for rehearsal marking. Also, I mean, that's 2 weeks from the concert, but that's okay. For future reference. Also, there is a crescendo going into measure 32. I know, that's why I'm doing this now. That's why I'm doing this now. So there's a crescendo into that measure. Bear with me, be patient, please. I'm going to stop us when there's others. There's not that many. There's not that many. So we're going to start there right after the crescendo on the downbeat of 32. If you've been resting for a really long time, this is also where you enter. All right. Everyone is playing except for timpani and chimes, bass drum, snare drum, and cymbals. at 32. Everyone else is playing. Here we go. Be prepared to stop again soon. Yeah, 41. Okay, 41 right there. The measure before it has a crescendo. So, 41 you may have forte marked, maybe. Okay, there is a 1 bar crescendo going into measure 41. A 1 bar crescendo if you're playing. So that means 1 bar crescendo before 32, 1 bar crescendo before 41. And while we're at it, just so I don't have to stop you again so soon, if you can find measure 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, do you have a mezzo piano in that measure? Some of you do. Okay, so 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, a 1 beat decrescendo down to mezzo piano. Yeah. Just 1 beat to get us back down to mezzo piano. It stays mezzo piano until do you have mezzo forte in measure 52? Yes. Okay. There's a 1 bar crescendo leading into that mezzo forte. So 53, 52, measure 51, there's a 1 bar crescendo. And then we're on a roll here, so let's keep going. Can you find measure 61 by any chance? Sure. If you can't, right before 61, everyone has like a whole note tied to an 8th note. Clarinets have a whole note tied to a bunch of other whole notes. That first whole note there, so that's measure 61, 60, 59, 58, 1 bar decrescendo down to piano. All right, everyone with me so far? Sweet, okay. The next one, can you find measure 79 for me? This is 1 measure before low brass comes in. 1 measure before low brass comes in. There's a crescendo, a 1 bar crescendo to measure 80. And so just keep in mind, low brass when you enter there, everyone else will be crescendoing to bring you in to that mezzo piano. And then there is a crescendo, and I told you about this last week. A crescendo begins, maybe you had a marking, I can't remember, 116, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 109. A crescendo begins and continues until forte in measure 116, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 121. Okay? And then some of you, it's written in this way in here kind of funny, but there's like an additional crescendo marking going into that forte. We're just crescendoing through all of it anyway. Right after you hit forte, then there's an immediate 1 bar decrescendo down to piano. Okay? And then the very last one is in the last 3 measures, whatever dynamic you start at, so 3 from the end, forte piano, 2 from the end, mezzo forte, constant crescendo to the very last beat of the piece, which should be triple F. So just an unrelenting 3 bar crescendo for the last 3 bars of the piece. That's it. That's all of them. You're welcome. Let's go back, please, to this section with the 16th notes. Maybe starting at 32 to get into it. 32, that's the mezzo forte after the very first crescendo. Here's 32. I like this tempo. I think it sounds good. Subdivide carefully when we get to the 32nd notes. Here we go. And there's fun and at the end there. Sorry, four it, not one in. Cool. Yeah, that's a lot of really good sounds. I have some thoughts. I'll share them outside of rehearsal, but let's move on. Applause is next. Percussion, give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Applause. Sounds good. Who was I yelling at?
No, you yelled out the percussion sound like you were cueing.
Oh, yeah. Cue applause. All right. This is a very exciting arrangement. It's long. Let's keep the energy going throughout. So when you feel like you're getting tired in the middle of the piece, get that second wind and drive through. This is the second last piece on the concert. All right, here we go. Starts piano, but not for long. Yeah, and that's the tempo I want to go. So you got to trust me until Jordan comes in at 9. Okay, trust me, please. Don't run away with it. Top. Here you go. think we were down to like 138 maybe, 136 out of 140. Not bad. Thank you for sticking with it. Great energy throughout. All right, we got just 4 minutes left. Let's jump to finale. Oh. Take it out at 72. All right, y'all hear that, flutes? 72 specifically, or every time? Every time. Just 72.
Okay. Thank you, Dave.
So close. Come on.
All right, finale. Finale that's not really the finale. It's just the third movement. But it says third movement finale. The finale from the third movement. All right. We're almost there. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum. We'll slow the sound next week. Concert week, we'll slow it down to make sure everything is gelling. But for now, let's just power through to the end. Here we go. And just remember, you'll have the adrenaline of the concert to push you through on the actual concert day. Here we go, beginning. finish strong, right? That was 152 all the way through. It was a great time. All right. Thank you all so much. Go ahead, please stack chairs and stands. If you were involved in taking equipment out of the storage rooms, please, if you wouldn't mind sticking around to make sure that things go back the way we found them. Just, we want to be as accommodating to them as possible. And I will see you in 1 week's time. Thank you all so much.